Alrighty, chapter 15. Letter from Miss Emily Wanstead to Dr. Cal Curtis. Zach says he came back into the house, got a piece of paper and a pencil, and wrote a note, leaving it for me on the kitchen counter. When he went back out to the deck, then he went back out to the deck and sat back down and picked up the rifle. Can you imagine? Alan snaps at Joey. "What are you doing? Lower your gun!" Joey looks at Alan so angrily that not even I can miss it. Joey spins around and punches the wall, but he points his gun at the floor. I point my gun at the floor, too. Alan looks at me. "Hey, Zach, I better have my gun back, okay?" I look at the gun in my hand, and I don't say anything for a second. I look up at Alan, and he is smiling. He says, "You want to shoot it?" Joey paces back and forth again. I answer Alan about shooting the gun. "I better not." Alan says, "It's okay. Go ahead and pull the trigger if you want to." I point the gun at Alan, and I ask, "Really? How come? You want to die?" Maybe I'm not the only one who feels that way. Alan says, "Sure. Just pull the trigger." Joey says, "Wait a sec." Alan interrupts him. "It's okay, Joey." "Fine, whatever," Joey yells. I say, "I don't really want to shoot you, Frosty." I mean Alan. Alan says, "Shoot the floor then," I say. "Okay." I point the gun at the floor. I slowly squeeze the trigger. I hear a click and nothing more, just a little click. I pull the trigger a second time, click. A third time, click. Then a bunch of times, click, 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 click. Alan reaches over and takes the gun. He looks at it and says to me, "It doesn't work. Hasn't for a long time. It's a World War II officer's sidearm, a .45 caliber. Our grandpa was a fighter pilot. All of them carried these, but Grandpa removed the firing pin from this one 50 years ago. Some holdup, huh?" Chapter 16. Letter from Miss Emily Wanstead to Dr. Cal Curtis. Zach, my son, felt horrible enough to put the barrel of the rifle into his mouth. I'm confused, so I ask, "What about Joey's gun? It works." I look at Joey's gun. "He shot the desk." When I say this, Joey says, "Yeah, I did. And don't forget it. Don't get any smart ideas. Uh-oh, I forgot. You never get those. Shut up, Joey," Alan says. Then he looks at me. I emptied the bullet clip from Joey's gun, but I forgot to check the chamber and make sure that it was empty. Joey interrupts him. "Alan, what are you doing?" "It's okay," Joey said. "It's okay, Joey," Alan says. He turns to me. When Joey's gun went off, I almost had a heart attack. I ask, "How are you going to shoot us if you don't have guns that work?" Alan looks at me for a second like he feels sorry for me, but he says, "That's the whole point, Zach. We were never going to shoot anybody. We just wanted to scare everybody until we could get the money, then leave." I glance around the room where the three of us are sitting. I look at Joey's silver gun and Alan's black one, both useless. I hear the hum from behind the closed closet door. The walls are clean, painted white. I can smell coffee. I look at the doorway which leads out into the front of the coffee shop. All of a sudden, I realize I could jump up and go running out of here and tell the cops that these two juvenile delinquents, Alan and Joey, can't do diddly squat because their guns don't even work. I guess turning in Alan and Joey would be the appropriate thing to do. After all, they are doing a crime. A good citizen would probably turn them in, and if I did, everyone would probably think I'm a hero. It's probably inappropriate for me not to do it. But here's the deal. These two kids aren't so different from me. I mean, I'm sick and messed up, and they're messed up now too. They're probably going to jail, which can't be that different from going to the hospital. All three of us are kind of the same, plus neither Alan nor Joey has called me wastoid. I don't know for sure what to think. I mean, after all, I'm not the best guy to figure out the right thing to do. Heck, I know I'm weird, maybe even crazy. I think about maple bars when I should be worried about getting shot in the head. I think about candy bars when I should be worried about my mom being dead. I think about the color of the walls and the sound of the freezer when I'm surrounded by cops who could shoot me by accident. I know I'm nuts. But I know another thing too, and I know it for sure. Whether a guy is crazy or not, if he gives his word, if he says he's going to do something, he should stick to it. Otherwise, he really is a wastoid. A lot of times my brain makes it hard for me to control what I say or think or do. But I promised Alan and Joey that I'd stay here until Dr. Kurt comes and helps. I'm not a wastoid. I'm not. I'm going to try my hardest to do what's right. Then I'm going to get my medicine and go home with my mom. And that's the end of chapter 16.